800 feet is like beep.
37 hours of straight driving, multiple missions time. They're not going to make it. Weird vibe there going on there, Harry. What you imagining?
Deadbeat salesman. Ain't nothing.
Why? So after the nuke is set to remote detonate, Harry makes this impassioned speech, which is convincing, but if you listen to the arguments, it's actually trash.
If we don't get this job done, everybody's gone. 1 minute? I've been drilling holes in the earth for 30 years, and I have never missed a depth that I have aimed for. By God, I am not going to miss this one. I will make 800 feet.
42 seconds.
Colonel, I need your help.
You are on your daughter's life, on my family's, that you can hit that mark.
I will make 800 feet. I swear to God I will.
And let's turn this bomb off.
Okay, so an important conversation because this is where Harry and Sharp become friends. Until this time, they're slightly antagonistic, and from now on in the movie, they're on the same team. But this argument, it's I've never made a mistake before, therefore I never will again. That's not past predictions. Don't necessarily guarantee future outcomes. That's not how that works. That's like saying, well, first of all, he's not in the same scenario. He's like, I've never missed it. I've been drilling on this earth for 30. You're not on the earth.
That's true.
And he's like, I've never missed my mark, but you might in the future.
That's true.
That's like saying, I've never gotten a speeding ticket, therefore I never will again. But what if you're speeding and the cop's like, radar gun, radar gun, you're speeding. You got a ticket.
Well, that's why I don't wear a seatbelt. I mean, I've never been in an accident, so I don't need to wear a seatbelt. What's the problem?
Exactly.
I'm so good at driving that I would never get into an accident again.
So that's why I insist that all the kids in my school bus don't wear seatbelts either. Like, I've never gotten in an accident. Like, just get them seatbelts. What are we doing here? That's not tight logic.
That's right. So he's clearly not a financial advisor, where they say past results are not predictors of future events.
That's right.
Future results? Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, if the stock market's always climbing, then it'll never crash. Put all your money in the stock market. Like, whatever crashes, it has happened.
So to be fair, Harry is taking ownership of the results, whereas a financial advisor would never take any ownership of anything unless they were guaranteed to win.
That's right. Gosh, it's like saying I've never missed a free throw, so therefore I never will again.
Yeah, and he's not on Earth with rocks that he's never seen before in a weird environment. Mm-hmm. It's very different than what he's used to on Earth.
Has he ever drilled through a iron ferrite plate? No, you just wouldn't dig there.
I mean, even if he has drilled through an iron ferrite plate, rocks are complicated. Could it be the same type of iron ferrite plate as on Earth, where there's like water and atmosphere and other things, life?
So this is the biggest gamble, I think, in the movie. It's actually Sharp gambling on Harry. Because Harry he says like this emotionally very strong, very convincing, like it sounds like it's good stuff, but it's actually just out of his butt. He's just saying stuff.
Talking out of his ass, what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't want the bomb to blow up. Harry doesn't want the bomb to blow up. He's like, say what I gotta say so the bomb doesn't go off.
Yep.
And
he convinces Sharp.
Why would he want to do that? Because is he convinced that the bomb blowing up on the surface wouldn't be effective? Or does he just not want to die in that moment? Or something else?
I would say it's something else, that he believes in himself because he's never made a mistake before. Like, I get why he's saying it. For him, it feels right.
I see. So he has a job to do. He said he would do it. So he's going to do it. And the effectiveness of the bomb... Yeah, it's bad logic.
I've never gotten in a car accident before, therefore I never will. Like, what if you're a really super safe driver and somebody else hits you? Like, you can't control external factors.
Okay. What about this? What if I look at a bunch of grades in my grade book, and one student has gotten an A on every single test, another person has gotten a C on every single test.
Yep.
If I were to predict the next scores for the test, is it totally independent for each student?
It is not, but it's not a guarantee. And in this situation, we need a guarantee. We're talking about the entire planet. We're talking about all the future of humanity. You got to make that mark.
That's true. If he doesn't make the mark, then they have no more ability to remote detonate.
Yep.
So that could mean mission failure, which is
the end of all life on Earth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Including microbes, because with an asteroid of this size, it's going to boil the Earth's crust.
Yep. Flash fire, flash flame, flash ignite the atmosphere. Everything's dead.
Yeah. And I think it actually melts the crust. Like the Earth goes like to its primordial state where it's like lava on the surface. Like real bad stuff.
Yeah, so this is the biggest gamble, and Sharp is convinced by Harry.
Mm-hmm. Now they got to do it.
My past experiences are guaranteed predictors.
And there's so many unknowns because even though they've drilled, I don't know, 100 feet, there's still a bunch of rock coming up that they don't know what it is.
And like
In fact,
gas pockets and stuff. Yep.
Right, they encounter gas pockets they didn't foresee.
Yep. Not good.
Not good. However, I remember this. So this is a picture of Ceres, which is the size of Texas.
It's like a near Earth object. It's like
it's the
an
largest asteroid in the asteroid belt.
Oh.
And it's considered a dwarf planet because it's spherical. And if we look here, the radius, or sorry, let's find diameter. Okay, I cannot see what I'm typing. Diameter. The mean diameter is 940 kilometers. And the size of Texas diameter.
Texas diameter.
Let's try it.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can we get that? Can we get that kilometer? Oh, no, it's there, right? It's right there.
Okay.
Okay, that works.
So width 1,300, length 1,300.
Okay.
I rounded that wrong. Okay. So this is actually a bit smaller than Texas.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Ceres. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So in the movie, they say this is the asteroid. This is flying by the moon here towards the Earth. That this is the size of Texas. So it's the same size as Ceres. Which means this is a scale picture from Wikipedia.
Okay.
And this is the moon. This is the Earth.
Yep.
This is Ceres. And here is our little wire drawing of the asteroid.
Oh, yeah. This
from
is
one of the computer
this is like the
screens.
simulation in the movie.
Yeah. It comes from this computer screen down here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So we made the picture of the asteroid the size of Texas, which is a little bit, actually quite a bit smaller than Ceres because it's oblong.
Pretty close, yeah.
Okay, and this thing is going to impact Earth. Boom!
Okay.
That's huge. That's huge.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Right, that's gonna wreck everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is the size of Texas. Okay, so we zoom in here. This is the size of Texas.
Okay.
Okay. This is 940 kilometers across. 800 feet is like beep. Like you can't even see. It's not even a pixel on this.
Oh. Wait, 800 feet is. Can we keep this all in the same units? 800 feet. How much is that in kilometers?
Okay.
It's like a quarter kilometer.
Feet. Oh, that's wrong. 800 feet in kilometers is 0.25, so about a quarter kilometer. So.
Oh yeah. So if this thing is 940 kilometers in diameter, then a quarter kilometer is like a little, like a little chip in the surface.
So this is similar size.
So they're gonna blow up this asteroid from the inside, but they're only going to drill in like a little tiny sliver of the outside.
Right. So assuming they're on one of these, I don't know, maybe deep inside, it's still like a doot, like that's like barely that's like, drilling in.
So their analogy is like put the firecracker inside your hand, but actually when you do the numbers, it's like put the firecracker under the first skin cell. Yeah. It's not inside.
Yeah. And if you look at here's the asteroid right before explosion. Here's the explosion. Okay. Clearly from the middle. How did they drill? If they drilled 800 feet to the middle, that means this thing is like 1,600 feet to 2,000 feet in some. Yeah. Like pretty small. That's not near the size of Texas. So.
Okay. Alternatively, maybe I can make it work. So they drill 800 feet into the asteroid, and maybe there's a fault line, a little weak spot right there, a little plane that's ready to break.
I mean, it looks like they do have good information about the asteroid. They made a wire mesh. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a clear cleavage zone somewhere here, and they drill into that cleavage zone, and then
Or maybe it's hollow on the inside. You just get 800 feet in, and then it's like dropping a rock down the well.
Well,
They would have had to have known that it's hollow on the inside.
how could they have known that it was hollow? Okay, so if they can figure out its mass,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know how they would figure out its mass if it doesn't have a moon,
That's right.
but somehow they figured out its mass, and then they can
Mhm.
use spectroscopy to figure out its composition.
Okay.
If they know its composition, they know the density of the rock that is made up
Mhm.
of. And they would find enormous discrepancy between the mass and the density. And then they must say, it's hollow. So 800 feet through the thin shell, we can pop
Mhm.
it into the middle and then
Mhm.
blow it up from the inside.
It's like that chocolate ice cream shell simulation.
hmm But that still means if you drill in, you got to like pop it into the hollow center. And then it's got to travel like 500 kilometers. You got to really push that thing.
Hmm.
Okay. Either way, there is some discrepancies going on with the size. This is the size of Texas. So this is the size of Texas. 800 feet ain't putting you in the middle of the asteroid.
Maybe, okay, absolutely not. I totally agree with you. Maybe 800 feet was a number that came up from drilling. So
Okay.
like they're going to be on the asteroid for, I don't know, a few hours. And so
Okay.
800 feet is like a reasonable depth that you can get into, like on the edge of what is normal to get to.
Okay. Deepest drilling on Earth. The Kola super deep borehole in Russia is the deepest man-made hole on Earth and the deepest artificial point on Earth, reaching a depth of 40,000 feet or 12,000 meters. And
Okay, but how long did it take to make that? Oh, beginning in 1970 is there in the first paragraph.
Yeah.
Beginning in
Beginning in-
1970, abandoned in 19. So it took 20 years.
yeah, so it's taking
okay.
years. Yeah.
So humans can drill that deep. It's just not in the time scale of this movie.
Okay, but to be clear, also 1,200 meters is 12 kilometers, which back at this
Oh.
picture is a little bit more of a boop.
That's right.
Right.
Because across that diameter is, we said it was 940 kilometers.
Yeah, this is
So 12
940.
kilometers is still nothing.
940. So maybe it's a
It's
pixel or
still-
two.
It's still nothing. It's still.
It's still nothing.
All right.
Well, okay.
Ignore
mean-
that. It's fine.
Yeah, I think we have to ignore that. It's either not the size of Texas,
Mm-hmm.
or no, I think that's the one we have to ignore. It cannot be the size of Texas. They were exaggerating for some reason, but it's actually significantly smaller. And so drilling 800 feet actually gets you somewhat to the middle of the asteroid, which we're talking this thing is maybe a mile across, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch out. Watch out, Mr. President. We got an asteroid the size of Rhode Island coming down. Like,
I mean, I think how
it
big
would still Rhode Island would still mess up people, like, for sure.
Mhm.
Depending on the kinetic energy, it could maybe still be world ending. It just doesn't sound good.
Do you know this Tunguska explosion?
Yeah.
Flat. I wonder how big they estimate the asteroid to be.
First of all, can we explain what the Tunguska event is?
Okay, let's okay. The Tunguska event was a large explosion of between 3 and 50 megatons that occurred near the Podkamenaya Tunguska River in Yaniske Governorate in Russia on the morning of 30th June 1908.
Hmm.
The explosion over sparsely populated eastern Siberia flattened an estimated 80 million trees over 2,000 kilometers squared.
So
Okay.
what caused this explosion?
They think it was the explosion is generally attributed to a meteor airburst. The
Cool.
atmospheric explosion of a stony asteroid about 50 to 60 meters wide. Oh, okay.
So a small asteroid on the scale of this movie was
Mhm.
came down to the Earth. I guess it's a meteor, almost meteorite. So it's in the atmosphere, and then instead of crashing to the ground, it exploded on the surface.
Right.
And it's like there's like a ring of trees that are all just blown down. People walked in,
Right.
and they're like, "What is
Whoa,
this?"
whoa, what the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So the Tunguska event, if it happened over a major city, would have been devastating.
Yeah, everything,
But-
everything dead.
It's not a global killer; it's a local killer. So
Hmm.
that's 50 to 60 meters at 60,000 miles an hour.
So much
so-
faster than the one in the movie. In the movie, I think we're doing 20,000.
Yeah. Doing between 20 and
Kilometers per hour.
30,000 miles per hour. But if it's a mile across, I think that might be a planet killer. So, I mean, I think if we ignore the size of Texas part of it, I think we're still consistent.
Okay.
Okay.
Like 800 feet is a reasonable depth for something that's so dangerous to the Earth.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm down with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, was the canyon jump realistic? So this is AJ. AJ and Bear and the Russian guy, I forget his name, are in the Armadillo in the crashed shuttle, and they need to get over to Harry. There's a canyon in the way. They decide to jump it. Is this realistic?
We're jumping over this canyon.
Here we go. Here we go.
I mean, clever solution.
Oh.
Except for this bad.
Here we go. Going up. Man, their equipment.
About a mile off the asteroid! Just a second, the fuel line is iced up! Getting higher, man!
Oh, we're spinning.
Hey!
Hey.
Oh my gosh, so dangerous. Improbable.
What a cool sequence. So the question is, so they launch, into the, like this.
Okay.
Is this realistic?
Maybe.
So, okay, so we're assuming that we're on Ceres. Okay, the reason why we're assuming on Ceres is because in the movie they say it's the size of Texas. The asteroid is the size of Texas, which we're going to roll with here. Okay,
let's roll with it.
And the important thing here is that the equatorial surface gravity is 0.03 g.
Okay.
Or 0.284 meters per second squared. So let's figure out how far they actually can fly under these conditions.
We're going to do a projectile motion?
Projectile motion, let's do it.
Okay, let's do
So
it.
I think a reasonable vehicle speed would be 25 miles an hour. I mean, these things aren't hot rods, right?
They're not hot rods. You want to go quickly, but not too fast. Okay, 25 miles per hour. That's all right.
Yeah. The G on Ceres is these numbers we just said. And then I think they launch at maybe, say, 30 degrees.
Sure.
But
yeah, they're not going to like 90 degrees and shoot up. Yeah,
Right.
sure. 30 degrees.
Okay. So the question is, how far would they fly?
Okay.
And so if we're going to use this equation from projectile motion, which is the
Kinematics.
final y position equals the initial y position plus the initial y speed times time minus 1/2 gravity times time squared.
Mm-hmm.
If we assume flat ground, meaning
Sure.
they land at the same height that they took off from, which I don't think is going to be true here, but it'll give us an estimate for how far they can actually fly.
Yeah. They're not like launching up a mountain or down into a valley. Like the ground levels are about the same, sure.
Yeah. So that means we can set the final y position to the initial y position. So we get 0 equals initial y speed times time minus
Okay.
1/2 g times time squared.
Okay.
We can cancel out a time. So we
True.
get this.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. And using that, we can solve for time.
So you're going to solve for how long they're in the air.
How long they're in the air. So that'd be
Okay.
2 times the initial y speed times g.
Yeah, that's good.
Then we can plug that into the x equation to figure out how far they flew.
Okay.
There's no atmospheric drag because I don't think there's an atmosphere. So their initial x speed when they take off times time will give us how far they flew.
Mm.
So the final x position equals the initial x position plus initial x speed times time.
Okay.
Choose the launch point to be at 0 meters.
Sure, we can choose that.
So that means the final x position will be equal to the initial x speed times time.
Just how fast you're traveling for how long you're traveling.
And then we can plug this right here into this.
Mm-hmm. That's how long you're traveling. Yeah.
Yep. And then, okay, so this is the annoying part. The initial x speed is going to be the initial speed times cosine. of the
Cosine.
angle. And
Yeah,
then
because if you're
initial-
launching up at an angle, the x speed is only the horizontal portion. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a cosine.
And then the initial y speed is times the sine of the angle. And I see a mistake here. Got to fix it. Because its initial x speed is v times cosine. And the initial
Okay.
y speed is v times sine.
Yeah.
So this has got to be v. This has got to be initial speed squared.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Got to make the change. Okay, here we go. And then, okay. And same in the next
Propagate
thing.
it. Very good.
Propagate it through. Okay, 2 times cosine of sine is equal to sine 2 at the angle.
You did a trig identity. Okay, yeah.
So I used
that's
the
true.
trig identity. That was
Yep.
that a good idea? I don't know.
That's fine. No, that's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
So the x final position is initial speed squared times sine 2 at the angle divided by g, which is the g of series.
Yep.
So we plug in. We need this to be 11 meters squared. So if we multiply 335 meters times 11, what do we get?
You get 3,685.
Okay, meters. Okay, that changes our answer just a little bit. But I think, so if they were to launch at these on series with this G at 11 meters per second, which is 25 miles an hour at 30 degrees, which I think is reasonable, they would fly about 3.7 kilometers.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. So it's not very far, actually. I mean, longer than we calculated initially, but it's not very far. Because if the asteroid is the size of Texas, so here's Ceres, then, and this, the circumference of this is, do I have it here? No, I don't. But the diameter is 940 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 to 4 kilometers on here is like beep, a little jump. Tiny little jump on the surface.
Gosh. That distance on that object, they might have already just been in line of sight with the other dig crew.
Right, because what is it? AJ jumps the canyon and then he drives to go see Harry, which means if they're on an asteroid the size of Texas, and they said they were on opposite sides, so if they're on opposite sides, one is over here, one is over here.
Gosh.
They have to drive the whole circumference, half the
They
circumference.
They must not mean opposite. They must mean like colloquialism opposite, like not like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
but
okay.
let's go. They said opposite. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
Let's see
So
what
here's
they
the
said.
picture of AJ showing up at Harry's dig site. So the question is, will they make it? They need to travel. The distance to travel is the circumference divided by 2.
Okay.
So 2 pi times the radius is the circumference. We have the
Okay.
radius. Okay, we have to do some simplifying. Get rid of the 2. Plug in the radius with pi and divide by 2.
This is
We get-
good.
This is the distance they need to travel, about 1,500 kilometers.
Oh, so
that-
3.7K is kind of nothing.
Right.
It's
So
kind of
they need to travel this whole distance, and they did an initial jump, little boop.
Yep.
So
This is like a 12-day journey.
yeah. So speed required. If they want to get it in 1 hour, they need to go at 915 miles an hour. In 2 hours, 460 miles an hour. 4 hours, 230 miles an hour. In 8 hours, which is the entire mission time,
Yep.
is 115 miles an hour.
They ain't gonna
No
make
way.
it. They ain't gonna make
even
it
if
at all.
even if the vehicle is capable, no way, because the
No way.
terrain. At 25
Okay.
miles an hour, which I top speed of the vehicle, our estimate,
Yeah, reasonable.
distance divided by speed, 915 miles divided by 25 miles an hour, 37 hours. That's
37
multiples.
hours of straight driving, multiple missions
Yeah.
time. They're not gonna make it.
Not going to make it. So the conclusion must be that when they say opposite sides, they mean Harry's here, AJ's like here.
It's like they're almost touching.
Yeah. But I think we said earlier that maybe we need to abandon the idea that it's the size of Texas.
It's got to be a smaller.
It's got to be smaller so they can be on opposite sides, and traveling from one side to the next in rugged terrain is feasible.
Oh boy! If Truman is saying these colloquialisms and using metaphors and hyperbole, then what else is Truman saying?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Truman
Suspect.
is just suspicious, yeah.
The entire movie's questionable now.
And if it was much smaller, that would explain why it was such a late detection.
Harder to see.
Because if the Ceres is pretty big object, I think it might be easy to see. But if it's much smaller than the size of Texas, detection may happen much later.
Yep.
Meaning,
It's just less surface area for the sunlight to reflect it towards Earth.
Yeah.
Smaller object, harder to see.
so maybe we need to abandon this idea that it's the size of Texas, because
I'm down.
that explains a lot. Truman, he's being a salesman, getting
Salesman,
that
that's how he
funding.
sold it. Yeah, he's like, it's as big as Texas. We got to take it down. Like, oh, it's as big as Texas. We better just give you guys some money.
money. And Truman's like, got it.
Truman everyone else got played. Okay, so after they realize that the nuclear weapon cannot be remote detonated, it has to be there. Somebody has to be there to push the button. They have this conversation, and somebody's not going home. And this is very intense. I want to watch it.
Oh my God.
Is there a problem, Colonel?
Timer, the remote, the whole thing's dead.
Bomb is dead?
Nah, the trigger's dead.
How do we detonate it?
Somebody's gonna have to stay behind.
Ooh, this is
Do
heavy.
we all stay and die, or you guys draw straws?
I say we all stay and die.
I know you guys think I'm crazy right now, but I would really like this responsibility.
I can do
Just
it.
draw straws and get it over with. Come on. I ain't drawing against you, Harry.
This is a heavy conversation, but it needs to be done because they're there on a mission. They're on a mission to defend the entire planet, not only the people alive, but all the people that could be alive in the future. So they have to get this done. They have to get the bomb down in the hole. They have to blow it up manually. And I just gosh, imagine being in this situation because, I mean, you don't want to die. I mean, of course, right? But for the sake of all humanity for the future, like, yeah, I'll step up. I'll step and do that, right? Yep. But at the same time, if you don't do it, you get to go home. But then one of your best friends is going to have to stay behind and die. Heavy,
Super heavy. Plus, how do you determine who goes? Drawing straws?
I mean, that's the fairest way, I guess. But here it's like I showed Rockhound saying like he'd volunteer, and even though they think he's crazy, and like look at him, he's like taped up there, right? Like they think he's so crazy that they've taped him up so that he couldn't do anything else in the rest of the mission. But there he is, still like volunteering. But why did they tape him up?
Because he had space dementia.
Can we show that?
Remember, he shot the camp up with that mounted minigun that they brought along with them for some reason, and he was like sabotaging stuff.
And what did he do on the nuclear bomb earlier? Let's show the video. The next,
Yeehaw! Run, cowboy!
Get off the nuclear warhead now.
I didn't see that one, huh?
Rockhound's the best. He's the best character in this entire movie.
Yeah. So he's
super heavy conversation.
Yeah.
But you got to have it, and you got to include Rockhound, even though because he's a part of it. Like they could. That I don't understand. Why did they include? Why did they include him?
They shouldn't include Rockhound, not because he wouldn't be willing to make the sacrifice, but he's got space dementia. You can't trust him to actually pull the trigger on the nuke when they leave him behind.
Are you ready for what's crazy about this scene?
What's up?
Look at Rockhound. Like zoom in here.
Okay.
He's taped to the chair.
Yeah.
They could have had this meeting somewhere else. They walked up to him and they like sat down. They're like, let's have this meeting right in front of him. Let's let him listen, even though we're not going to let him volunteer. That's some psychopath stuff. Like, they could have talked in the back of the room. Like, what are they doing?
That's true. In fact, they don't need him in the conversation. He's just going to throw curveballs in there for no reason.
Just ramping him up, giving him anxiety for no reason. They're not going to trust him. They taped him up already.
So even if he drew the short straw, people would be like, no, we can't let him be the one.
Why are they having him included in this conversation at all? What are they doing here?
What are they doing?
They could have been in the cockpit or whatever.
And don't they even give him a straw?
I think so. Yeah. Wild. What are they doing?
Wild.
What is going on here? They could have had this meeting anywhere. They're like, no, let's sit down right in front of Rockhound. Let him listen.
Man. But heavy stuff. Maybe everyone is so like cognitively compromised, emotionally on edge, that they didn't even think, we shouldn't include him. But if he had drawn the short straw, I think everybody would have been like,
no. Get that back. Start again. Start
again with 5.
Yep. Oof.
Yeah. Whew. Heavy stuff.
Cool, though. Okay. And so at the very end of the movie, we see, I guess this is an earlier part, we see AJ and Grace falling in love. And this is going to be a comment about how AJ's relationship with Harry plays out. Let's watch.
Will you marry me?
Put a ring on it.
Yes. So at this point in time, Harry does not approve of AJ. He does not like Grace with AJ, and so
Nope.
they're both pushing back against what her father and his father figure wants from them.
Yeah.
Okay, but by the end, we see that Harry gives them a permission.
Always thought of you as a son. Always.
I'd be damn proud to have you marry Grace.
Fucking heavy. Oh my gosh. Cuts deep. Like, this movie is supposed to be super fun and just a summer blockbuster, but these are some deep emotions. These cuts down to people.
It does. And gosh, with the pacing of the movie, it's just like one after the other. It was like father, daughter, father, son.
Daughter,
Oh my
son.
gosh.
Because if you
Daughter-
think about what he said, like, he's like, I've always thought of you as a son, and I want you to be with my daughter. He's like, I know you're not my son, but I imagine you as my son, and I want you with my daughter. That's some weird vibe there going on there, Harry. What you imagining?
Wait, what are you saying?
Because it's not like it's like my daughter and some random guy. I want you to get together. I believe in you. It's like my daughter and this guy who I imagine as being my son. I want that guy to hook up with my daughter.
Wait.
That's some weird incest stuff, right? Right?
Okay, so my first question is, how long have AJ and Harry and Grace known each other? Like, have they grown up together, like brother and sister?
I think so.
Like on oil rigs?
I think so.
Because he's like
I
some
think
kind
they've
of
been-
orphan?
So I think I don't know if he's like an orphan, but he's definitely not close to his father. He views Harry as his father figure. And that's why this is so important, because Harry's been mean to him, just grilling him, just drilling him, just messing him up for years. And he's like, disrespect. But actually the whole time he's been like, I think of you like my son. Like, in fact, I thought of you kind of like me. And so I've been tough on you because I wanted to raise you up into a man. And so now it's happened. He's like, I acknowledge you as a man. I acknowledge you as my family. I've always thought of you as a son, and I want you to be with my daughter.
So this is father.
Weird
this is
dude.
adopted son. This is adopted sister.
Right? This is some Luke and Leia stuff.
Oh, but okay. Luke and Leia did not know, and Luke and Leia, they kissed once, and that was it.
Yeah, these two have been together for 5 months.
These two been,
But they're not brother and sister. Like they're it's okay. Like it's not actual incest. It's just imaginary in Harry's mind.
it's adoptive incest.
Yep.
I mean, it's
not-
also
it's not-
also in their mind. It's also in their mind.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they are white people.
Weird. Okay. Okay, this is poignant. Is that the right word? Also another heavy scene. This movie will gut punch you. And so Harry's saying goodbye to Grace, and it really is a goodbye because he's not coming home.
Promised you I was coming home.
I don't understand.
I'm gonna have to break that promise.
Oh, that hurts.
I lied to you too when I told you that I didn't want to be like you, because I am like you. I love you so much, Daddy.
Can we pause this and break this down a bit? Okay, so I did not understand this as a child, because as a kid or as a tween, I was like, yeah, let's take out the asteroid, nuclear weapons. This is awesome. But now as an adult, I understand their perspectives a bit more. And so Harry is there. He's the father, and he's saying goodbye to his daughter. And so, like, I'm never going. Gosh, that is. Oh, I feel it already. Saying goodbye to your child forever. And Grace, who is up until this point has been rebellious and not rebellious for the sake of rebellion, but she's growing up into her own person, and Harry has his ways, and she needs to establish herself as an adult in her own decisions. But she throws that energy away, and she only says good stuff. She says, "Daddy, I love you," and she sees the good parts of him. Heavy feelings.
Yeah. And this is the final conversation. So,
heavy. Let's get more.
So proud of you.
Oh,
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
I know it, baby. But there won't be anything to be scared of soon. I want you to know AJ saved us. Tell Chick that I couldn't have done it without him.
Okay, wait.
Take care of AJ.
So AJ, he says, AJ saved us. And so
Yep.
AJ gets his recognition. This is something that he's been wanting his whole life. He wants people to see his importance, see his value, see his competency. And there it is. Harry declares it over the radio so that everybody knows AJ was good. He was important. He was valuable. He did a great thing. And then Harry follows it up with tell Chick that I couldn't have done without you. Because Chick, he has family problems. He's got personal problems in his life, but he's attached himself as Harry as his best friend, his confidant, his supporter, and he's been loyal all the way to the end. And you see it. You see it on his face. You see it on Chick's face, where he's happy, but immediately he's like, "But my best friend's about to die."
I couldn't have done it without him. I want you to take care of AJ. I wish I could be there to walk you down the aisle.
Wait,
Get on you.
that's so heavy, because as a father, you want to see your child move on with their life and develop into their own adulthood. And Harry's saying, "I won't be there for that."
Right.
Oh, it's like just gut punches. Just
Yeah. And he has to do it.
he has to do it, and this is his last chance.
From time to time, okay, honey? I love you, Grace.
I love you too.
Gotta go now, honey.
Daddy, no.
Gosh, and they
Static.
don't get to live the life, like they were going through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's growing up, rebellion, and they're fighting, and they're still yelling at each other, and they're finally starting to come out of that on the other side to live a life as two adults, with married to AJ, and they could live that life, and it's not going to happen. Brutal.
And it's just static and reaching out and nothing.
The static.
Let's finish this.
No, Dad, no.
And like a child reaching out, crying for their parent, and the parent can't respond.
Yep.
It's just gut punch.
And NASA mission control rubbing it in with the sheer amount of screens.
Okay. But okay, yes. But let me tell you why this is a very good movie, because I didn't feel like it felt like a private conversation. It felt like I was a silent observer, and they were having such an emotionally intimate and connected moment. But and yes, there are some. There's a bunch of screens. Like I really feel like she's alone and suffering, and I want to take care of her. We're seeing this it feels like a very intimate moment. Like I feel like I'm a fly on the wall. There's nobody else in the room. We're just seeing Grace and Harry give their final goodbye, and we're seeing their emotions, and we're just pulled with them. I'm so invested in their emotions. I'm just with them. And yes, there are some people around, like AJ gets his recognition, and Chick is there. They're silent on the radio, but actually, in the scenario, there's these guys like Truman and this engineer. They're listening to it. And in fact, it's not just these two people in the room. The entire mission controls was watching this whole thing happen. Like I thought this was like a private moment. Like it's like bearing their souls to each other, and everyone in Capcom just like sipping their tea. Like,
I mean, but it's right. It's an impromptu conversation that mission control has to listen in on because it's critical mission comms.
That's right.
So they have to listen, but they're like, damn, it got heavy real fast.
Just everyone in there is like tissues, like, oh, I just wanted to save the earth. Like, why am I crying? Like, heavy.
At the same time, mission control is ready for the tears because people have already died, and they were ready to sacrifice the whole crew. I mean, it has to be. They're ready to sacrifice the whole crew to save Earth. They've already sacrificed 3 people, and they're sacrificing one more. Everybody has a box of tissues right next to their station.
Yep. I was prepared to send people to this asteroid to blow up nukes. I was not prepared to feel things. Maybe that's not me in the mission. That's me sitting here in this chair.
Yeah.
But this movie hits.
It hits, yeah. And then Chick gets his family back. But wait a second. Wait, why does the wife come back?
The ex-wife?
I was just passing by on there. I came.
Who's he? That man says.
Deadbeat salesman. Ain't nothing. Get out of here.
That has nourished our souls and elevated our species.
That man's not a salesman. That's your daddy.
Hold up. You're not a salesman. I like him now. He's your daddy.
Oh, he's famous and people like him? He's your dad.
So I felt this so much. When he gets his family back, he gets to hug his son. I felt it so much.
That's
but
what
at the
this
same
was all
time,
for.
like, yeah, who is this?
Who is this
wife?
lady?
Who is this
Right?
lady? Like complete 180. Look
How
at
did she
this.
get on the tarmac? Right?
Look at this body language.
Closed
Get
off.
out of here.
Not happy. GTFO.
And now she's like,
I've
so
always
proud.
loved you. I've loved you the whole time.
yeah. And then how did she get here? How did she get here?
Right. Does NASA allow estranged ex-wives with court orders to keep me away? Do they allow that on?
Unless Chick put her on the list.
Okay, but okay. That's a good point. Because if I was Chick, I'd be like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back a hero. I'm gonna put my ex-wife's name. I'm gonna put all my ex-wives' names on them. Some of them are gonna show up.
So from Chick's perspective, this is awesome. Like,
Heck yeah.
he gets his
Heck
son
yeah.
back. He gets his family back. The life he wanted. I don't know what mistake he made, but it's back.
I don't know.
At the same time, should we trust her?
I say no.
I say no, right?
because her standards are way too high, and you got to save the planet to be with me. Gosh dang,
Right.
woman.
You went, okay, oil drillers make a lot of money. So he's not some
That's right.
deadbeat.
That's right.
I mean, so this body language, like, what the heck? What happened?
I don't know what happened.
But then whatever happened was so bad that even this guy who's doing well in life, oil drilling, gets this body language. As soon as he becomes an astronaut saving the world, he gets this.
She's back. She's back.
She's
Back.
back. She's back. She is back.
I gotta save the world. Okay, and also this is high risk. This is super high risk what she does.
That man's not a salesman. That's your daddy.
Wait, why is this high risk?
Okay, so this is when Chick is on television. He's going to launch to the asteroid. This is not on the return. This is not like boots on the ground, safely returned. So this boy is like, "Who is that?" Like, that's your dad. Like, what if he doesn't come home? It's a high risk mission. He could have died up there. So the kid's like, "Oh, that's my dad." Oh, that's just a pile of ashes in space.
Oh,
Like, that didn't right. Right, it's a high risk. She's promising like that's your dad, and you could like meet him or whatever. But no. He might not come home.
Right, by telling the son that the dad is a salesman, she's setting up lots of problems. Like, she could continue the salesman lie, and when he gets older, he's going to figure out, like, oh, my dad was that astronaut guy. Mom,
That
why
saved the
were
planet.
you lying to me the whole time?
Why'd you keep my dad away from me? What the heck?
Right. And then if she lies, if she rescinds the lie here, the possibility that he dies in orbit. And
That's
then when
right.
he grows up, he'll be like, you kept my dad from me, and then you told me the day he died?
Right.
He was my dad? What
I
is
could have
wrong
met
with
him.
you, Mom?
What the heck? What the heck? It's super high risk. She should just wait until he gets back, and then like, oh yeah, that's your dad.
Yeah. But gosh, that's true. I mean, that's what you have to do. She said he's a salesman for so long.
No need to put this kid through that stress.
Yeah. Damn. I don't trust her.
High risk. I don't trust her.
High risk.
Okay, so that was our movie.
Yeah, so that was Armageddon. Great time, great pacing. I love it.
So
but the
good.
science.
So good.
So my question was, a lot of marriages after everybody gets back.
Yep.
Are there any divorces in the future?
Why? Why? Happy they got married. Why are we doing this?
Okay, AJ Grace, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I mean, they got to stick together forever.
Harry's looking over them with, a haunting, potentially.
Mm-hmm. Rockhand and the stripper, they gonna stay together.
They're going to stay together.
I think so.
Chick and his ex-wife, now probably wife. I'm going to say that's a divorce. After 5 years.
He's one of the seven most important men in the entire planet, man and woman.
But okay,
God, you gotta stick
5
around.
years goes by, 10 years goes
5
by.
years. 5 year itch.
Right. He's still a historical figure, still saved the world, but the world is moving on to other things, and life is returning to normal.
Gosh, and yeah, for Chick, this is probably the highlight of his career. It's downhill after this. That's a good point.
Right. And she's just jumping ship. She's like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay.
Okay. I don't like her. And then, what is life like after? I guess the public didn't really know what was going on, and then all of a sudden they're saved.
Oh, that's a good point.
How much does life change for the public?
Gosh, yeah. So they don't know what's going on. There's a few days of it's just intense terror. Probably people reconciling their problems, and then saved. Problems come back.
Problems come back. I mean, I guess Paris was destroyed, Shanghai was destroyed. So big events, but for most people around the world, essentially nothing happened.
Mm.
And then what is life like for NASA after this? Do they get like bumps in funding?
Oh, absolutely. NASA
For
through
sure,
the
right?
roof. On the other hand, oh gosh, but they got it done with their limited budget, so why put more money into it if they're getting stuff done?
Oh, brutal. Hey,
Oh gosh.
you got it done with limited budget. You don't need any more money.
Yeah, but the next asteroid is going to be like double Texas. You got to keep ratcheting up the stakes. Get that funding. Get that funding, Truman.
Okay, what would I do? I would say we almost entirely got destroyed by an extinction level event. We should be at least a 2-planet species.
Yeah.
Therefore, Mars mission, Moon mission, all those missions, they need to be greenlit now so we can
Gosh.
get on multiple planets to make sure we survive.
And I think that would happen because the public confidence in NASA is just through the roof. Just
Through the roof, yeah.
clear competence.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'd join up.
Cool. See you next time.
Go. See you next time.